Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering Zero-Day Vulnerability, CVE-2025-26633, has been dubbed MSC EvilTwin. Tnmc6xr71o.sbs floods users with pop-ups. And RuntimeBroker.exe is a legitimate Windows system process that may be exploited for malicious activity. In early 2025, cybersecurity researchers uncovered a critical zero-day vulnerability in Microsoft's Management Console, MMC. It was identified as CVE-2025-26633 and dubbed MSC EvilTwin. This exploit has been actively leveraged by a sophisticated threat group known as Water Gamayun, also referred to as EncryptHub or Larva 208. To execute malicious code and exfiltrate sensitive data from compromised Windows systems. Technical overview of CVE 2025-26633. The MSC EvilTwin exploit capitalizes on a flaw in how MMC handles Microsoft Console.msc files, particularly through the multilingual user interface path, MUIPATH. Attackers craft two identically named .msc files, a legitimate one and a malicious counterpart placed within an -US subdirectory. When the legitimate .msc file is executed, MMC inadvertently loads the malicious version due to its search path behavior, allowing attackers to run arbitrary code without user consent. How Water Gamayun attacks its targets. Water Gamayun has demonstrated a sophisticated approach to exploiting CVE 2025-26633, making use of various techniques to infiltrate and persist within target systems. Malicious provisioning packages utilizes specially crafted provisioning packages to deliver and execute payloads during system setup or configuration processes. Signed Microsoft installer files, .msi. Deploy malware through seemingly legitimate installer files, often masquerading as trusted applications to bypass security mechanisms. Abuse of living off the land binaries, LOL bins, leverages legitimate system binaries such as IntelliJ's runnerw.exe to proxy the execution of malicious PowerShell commands, thereby evading detection. Malware payloads delivered via MSC EvilTwin. Through the exploitation of CVE 2025-26633, Water Gamayun has deployed a variety of custom malware strains designed for persistence, data theft, and remote control, including EncryptHub Stealer, a modular information stealer that collects browser credentials, system metadata, clipboard contents, and cryptocurrency wallet data, transmitting the stolen information to attacker-controlled servers. DarkWisp Backdoor, a sophisticated backdoor providing full shell access, file transfer capabilities, and persistence mechanisms, communicating with command and control C2 servers over encrypted channels. Silent Prism Implant, a stealthy implant that integrates with legitimate Windows services to evade detection, primarily used for lateral movement and data exfiltration within compromised networks. Radamanthys Stealer, a commercial information stealer targeting FTP credentials, chat clients, and banking applications, often distributed through malicious .msi packages or binary malware droppers. How vulnerability exploitations impact affected systems. The exploitation of CVE 2025-26633 poses significant risks, including unauthorized system access, data breaches, and operational disruptions. Organizations, particularly those heavily reliant on Microsoft's administrative tools, are advised to implement the following mitigation strategies. Apply security patches promptly. Ensure that all systems are updated with the latest security patches released by Microsoft to address CVE 2025-26633. Enhance email security. Deploy advanced email filtering solutions to detect and block phishing attempts that may deliver malicious.msc files or other exploit vectors. Monitor for anomalous activity. Utilize intrusion detection systems, IDS, and security information and event management, SIEM, solutions to monitor for unusual system behaviors indicative of compromise. The discovery and active exploitation of CVE 2025-26633_ the constantly evolving tactics of threat actors like Water Gamayun. By understanding the mechanisms behind the MSC EvilTwin exploit and implementing robust security measures, organizations can better defend against such sophisticated attacks and protect their critical assets from compromise. Tnmc6xr71o.sbs is a deceptive website designed to mimic legitimate sites, aiming to trick users into interacting with its content. Despite its appearance, this site is unsecured and poses potential risks to users. It bombards visitors with intrusive pop-up advertisements and monitors their online activities. Engaging with any part of the site, including its search bar, can redirect users to harmful websites or prompt unintended downloads of unwanted software. These actions may lead to browser issues, security vulnerabilities, and potential data theft. How Tnmc6xr71o.sbs affects users. Bundled software packages may carry applications that are associated with the Tnmc6xr71o.sbs redirect. Such apps are commonly hidden within free applications or pirated files. Users inadvertently install apps associated with Tnmc6xr71o.sbs when they download and set up such programs without thoroughly reviewing the installation process. Once installed, users' browser settings get altered to redirect them to Tnmc6xr71o.sbs, which in turn displays unwanted advertisements and modifies search results to benefit its creators. Potential risks associated with Tnmc6xr71o.sbs. Tnmc6xr71o.sbs can function like a tracking tool, collecting extensive user and system information, including visited websites and activity logs, search histories and online preferences, browser version and installed plugins, operating system and network details, IP addresses and regional data, internet service provider and connection specifics. The primary concerns associated with Tnmc6xr71o.sbs include forced redirects. Users may be redirected to high-risk domains, increasing potential exposure to malware or phishing attempts. Tracking cookies. The site employs tracking mechanisms to gather sensitive data. Potential malware exposure. Interactions with the site can lead to malicious software downloads. Given these risks, it is imperative to remove Tnmc6xr71o.sbs promptly to safeguard your system and personal information. Removal methods for Tnmc6xr71o.sbs. You can delete Tnmc6xr71o.sbs manually or by utilizing trusted anti-malware software. Identify and remove suspicious browser extensions. Open your browser settings and navigate to the extensions or add-ons section. Look for unfamiliar or suspicious extensions related to Tnmc6xr71o.sbs and remove them. Reset browser settings. Restore your browser settings to their default state to undo any changes made by the hijacker. Make sure your browser retains your customizations and bookmarks before you reset, or save them someplace else beforehand. Check for unauthorized system policies. Some hijackers create policies that prevent users from modifying browser settings. Access your browser's policy settings by typing chrome://policy in Chrome or edge://policy in Edge. Identify and remove any policies associated with Tnmc6xr71o.sbs. Manual removal requires technical knowledge to ensure all unwanted files are accurately identified and deleted. If you are uncertain about performing these steps, consider using reputable anti-malware tools for a comprehensive system scan and removal. Tnmc6xr71o.sbs is a deceptive website that may pose substantial risks to user security. Understanding its infiltration methods, potential dangers, and effective removal strategies is crucial for maintaining a secure computing environment. Regular vigilance, cautious downloading practices, and the use of reputable security tools are essential in protecting against such threats. Have you ever opened Task Manager and noticed a process named RuntimeBroker.exe consuming a lot of CPU or memory? Understanding what this process is and its role in your system can help determine whether its activity is normal or indicative of a potential issue. What is RuntimeBroker.exe? RuntimeBroker.exe is a legitimate Windows system process that manages permissions for Universal Windows Platform, UWP, applications, commonly known as Microsoft Store apps. It acts as an intermediary, ensuring that these apps have the necessary permissions to access system resources like the microphone, webcam, files, or location. The genuine RuntimeBroker.exe file is located in the C:\Windows:system32 directory. Normal RuntimeBroker.exe behavior. Under typical conditions, RuntimeBroker.exe operates in the background with minimal resource usage, generally consuming less than 20 megabytes of RAM and negligible CPU power. You might observe brief spikes in resource usage when launching a Microsoft Store app for the first time. An app requests access to sensitive system resources. A background process associated with a UWP app is initiated. These temporary increases are standard and usually subside quickly. When to be concerned about RuntimeBroker.exe? If you notice that RuntimeBroker.exe consistently uses high CPU, 10 to 40%, or memory exceeding 100 megabytes for extended periods, it may indicate an issue. Additionally, multiple instances of RuntimeBroker.exe running simultaneously can be a red flag. Such behavior could result from malfunctioning applications, or in some cases malware, disguising itself as the Runtime Broker process. Verifying the legitimacy of RuntimeBroker.exe. To confirm whether the RuntimeBroker.exe process is legitimate, check the file location Open Task Manager by pressing Ctrl+Shift+ESC. Locate Runtime Broker under the Processes tab. Right-click on it and select Open File Location. Ensure the file path is C:\W Windows. System32, RuntimeBroker.exe. If the file is located elsewhere, it could be a malicious impersonator. Check the digital signature. Open Task Manager by pressing Ctrl+Shift+ESC. Locate Runtime Broker under the Processes tab. Right-click on RuntimeBroker.exe and select Properties. Go to the Digital Signatures tab and verify that the signer is Microsoft Corporation. An absent or invalid signature may indicate a compromised file. Addressing suspicious activity. If you suspect that RuntimeBroker.exe is exhibiting abnormal behavior, run a malware scan. Use reputable anti-malware software to perform a comprehensive system scan. This can help detect and remove any malicious software that may be affecting the Runtime Broker process. Update or remove problematic applications. Identify any recently installed apps that might be causing issues. Update them to the latest versions or uninstall them if problems persist. Limit background apps. Navigate to settings, privacy, background apps. Disable unnecessary apps from running in the background to reduce system resource usage. RuntimeBroker.exe is an essential component of the Windows operating system, facilitating secure interactions between UWP applications and system resources. While it typically operates quietly in the background, prolonged high resource usage or multiple instances may signal underlying issues. Regular monitoring, verifying the process's legitimacy, and addressing any anomalies promptly can help maintain optimal system performance and security.
You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like Spy Hunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. Spy Hunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. Spy Hunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the Spy Hunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. Spy Hunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download Spy Hunter today. Thanks for watching.